It's early December, and that means it's time for a book haul. Let's get looking at the books. So, I have been having car trouble and have been staying with my parents while my car is in the shop. And my parents have been shuttling me around, and it's not been a good week. I lost my guinea pig, who you've seen on this channel before, and I also lost my favorite student to suicide on Thanksgiving Day. So my parents, the lovely people that they are, have been shuttling me to bookstores to help me feel better. So I'm very grateful for having good parents. And let's get into the books. So the majority of these I did buy for myself. Being a teacher, I can write them off as my taxes as long as they sit in my classroom at some point, and they will. So the first one I got was at Half Price Books. It is Into Thin Air by John Krakow. Show it. It's about the Everest disaster. He also wrote Into the Wild and something else. But Mount Everest has always been something that interests me about, like, why would people do that? Why would people climb Mount Everest? It just seems so pointless to me. So I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to put it in my classroom because I am selfish and I want to read it first. But this one's going straight to my classroom because I've already read it. It's Fever 1793. It is a kind of like halfway between middle grade and young adult because the main character's 14, but it's written on a really low reading level. So, yeah. So, the main character, Martha, or Maddie, contracts yellow fever during the yellow fever epidemic when Philadelphia was the capital of the United States. When Philadelphia was the capital of the United States just after the war. Her father was a war villain. Her father was a soldier in the American Revolution, and they try to escape the disease, but it's everywhere. So that is a really good book. Yellow fever is caused by mosquitoes. Hate mosquitoes. And then this one, I've been looking for at a decent price for a long time. This is Kings of the Wild. It, for some reason, was in the YA section at Half Price Books. It's not a YA book, but it's about a group of mercenaries, washed out old mercenaries, that have to pick up their swords again, and their glory days long past. The mercs have grown apart and grown old, fat, drunk, and a combination of the three. Then an ex-bandmate turns up at Clay's door with a plea for help, the kind of mission that only the very brave and the very stupid would sign up for. And I have heard that this is like, you know, old washed up rock stars, how when they do a comeback tour, that's kind of this set in a fantasy world. So I cannot wait. A lot of my booktube friends love it. This one was an impulse buy, and I just had to do it. This is The Princess in the Tower by Philippa Langley, and she believes she has solved the oldest cold case on the planet. I believe Richard III killed his nephews. I have been very vocal about saying that, and Philippa Langley, if you've seen the King in the Car Park documentary, this woman is obsessed with, like, clearing Richard's name, Richard III. Oh man, it's something. And then I got Adam Severa's duology, which evidently is having a sequel. They both die at the end, and the first to die at the end, I lent my original copy of They Both Die at the End out to a student, and he loved it so much it was only the second chapter book he's ever read, and he came to me crying because he felt so represented because he's a gay Hispanic, and both the characters are in the book gay Hispanics. It's about a world where the day you die you get a phone call and you get a chance to do your, like, Make-A-Wish, and they use the Last Friend app, which is different from a hookup app, and become friends, these two LGBTQ young men, on the day that they die. And he came to me crying, thanking me, hugging me, like he could not believe that books were so amazing. And now he told me he's asking for a bookshelf for his birthday, so it's really cool. I have read They Both Die at the End. I have not read the first to die at the end, but I will, and that is specifically for my classroom. This one, more booktube friends have been getting on to me like, Amanda, you love Ken Follett, you love huge epic, there, you guys see it, you love huge epic historical fiction, get your hands on London. So This is just a major saga about one of the greatest cities in the world, how it came to be, and it goes through, I think, like thousands of years in the city of London. So I can't wait for this. It'll probably take me a while to read. That too is from Half Price Books. This one I'm going to show specifically for my classroom. Look at that cover. This is a prequel to the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which has been very popular in my classroom. A lot of my students have loved it. This is going to go straight into my classroom. This is the Druid's call. Druid is a buzzword for me. So it's going to go straight into my classroom, and maybe I'll read it one day. Maybe I won't. And then this one is a self-published book called Gilded Kingdom, 7th Born. It is really obscure. I found it in kind of a strange way, but I will be making a separate video about this. I had it on Kindle Unlimited, but I just wasn't feeling it on Kindle Unlimited. When I read on Kindle, I'm normally like read on the go, meaning I will be like at a long drive-through line and we'll start reading, or my students are working on an essay and I'll be on like Kindle Cloud Reader. So because there were so many moving parts to this, I got to like page 40. I just need a hard copy to sit down and read. And then the last two books I got, the first one, really serious. Sorry, I'm like moving stuff around. I'm at my parents' house, so I'm like, I'm in not so great headspace or real estate space. So Late in the Day by Claire Keegan. You might know this short story, So Late in the Day. That came out a while ago. This came out in November, and I got it because it was advertised as a collection of short stories. It's not. It's So Late in the Day, which is a short story by Claire Keegan, and two other stories that have already been published in Antarctica, and they were just slapped into this little cash grab. Liked the cover, loved the stories, but it's kind of funny. I'm kind of glad I got this in a way, because So Late in the Day was actually the worst out of the three stories in here. Go figure. And last but certainly not least, Bookshops and Bone Dust, the special Broken Binding edition. It's the first Broken Binding book I've ever purchased, and I just had to have it because at that time I had some extra money, and it's got a giant rodent on the cover. Yeah, here he is. It's got a giant rodent on the cover. That is literally why I bought it. I haven't read Legends and Lattes. I do have it. I'll read it eventually. I don't know if I'm going to read Bookshops and Bone Dust first, but I don't know. So, Bookmas Day 3, book haul. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.